If I should stay, I would only be in your way, so I'll go, but I know I'll think of you every step of the way. And I will always love you. Will always love you. You, my darling, you. Bittersweet memories, that is all I'm taking with me. So goodbye, please don't cry. We both know I'm not what you need. Life treats you kind, and I hope you have all you dreamed of, and I wish you joy and happiness, but above all this, I wish you love. Darling, I love you. Ooh, I'll always love you.
Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for being here today for the funeral service of Mr. Royston Keith Barrett, or as you all knew him as Keith. Today is a day to say farewell to an absolute and true gentleman, but also to mourn our loss as a united community of friends and family, Keith's truest legacy. My name is Lynn, and I've been asked to conduct this service and lead you through this time of remembrance and celebration of Keith's life. Chris Blackwood prepared this service today but was unable to be here, so I've been the person that's been chosen to do so. As we start this service today, we also acknowledge those relatives and friends who are unable to attend and are watching via the Zoom link. In particular, we say welcome to Ian and Beverly Bridgman, but also to those others who have joined the family via the link today. On the 17th of August in 1926, Keith was born to parents Henry Royston and Ellen Carolyn Barrett, and sadly passed from this life on the 23rd of February 2022, and will be sadly missed by his family, friends and former work colleagues and the community that he was involved in. We gather today to mourn for Keith and show our respect and give our thanks for all that Keith brought to us through his life. To begin our service today, I would like to ask his grandchildren, great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren to please come forward and light the 23 candles over on the other side of the room, please. In memory of Keith and Yvonne.
No, you can't touch that. There's no ice cream here. Spiderweb.
There is a second lighter if you'd like to move a shield. Although we all know in our hearts that in order for there to be life, there must be a loss. Nevertheless, it is always overwhelmingly sad and shocking when someone as irreplaceable as Keith was passes from our physical lives. It's right and natural that you should grieve because your sorrow is a measure of your love and affection for him. Though you will always miss Keith, it is fond memories that will take you into the future, and that will give him a kind of immortality. As you remember Keith's life today, perhaps you'll feel able to smile at memories of the good times, and even while you grieve his loss. Family was everything to Keith and is known to all he met on this earth for his understanding nature, always with open ears, there just to listen and only to cast opinion if asked or was wanted. Something the grandkids always treasured at any get-together or family parties. Humble, wise and respectful to say the least, perhaps interested in how life's challenges have changed over the generations. Chris was given an instant sense of and feeling of warmth and love, that which was of Keith's binding and eternal love for his late wife Yvonne, his children Gavin and Deborah, his son-in-law Richard, and his treasured grandchildren. The dashing man sweeping the girl of his dreams off her feet and spending his life and their 32 years of marriage together, upholding his promise to take the kindest and loyalest of care for her and their family. You are now reunited at last, able to rest in peace, the peace you deserve, together once more. We here today can learn something true and invaluable of Keith's life and his legacy. Value not the material things, the replaceable items, but value the important social interchange of things like family, mateship, teamwork and community. And now, with gratitude and sharing all of our strength here today, I would like to invite Keith's daughter Deborah and son-in-law Richard to come forward to share with you Keith's eulogy and memoirs of his wonderful and well-lived 90 years of life, followed by a poem to be read by Richard on behalf of Keith's son Gavin, and also a memoir Richard will read on behalf of Keith's granddaughter Megan.
Royston Keith Barrett was born 17th of August 1926 at the Port Augusta Hospital. He was the fifth child of Henry Royston Barrett and Ellen Carolyn Barrett. He was always called Keith. Keith is the last surviving sibling, and the family was made up of Elva, Joyce, Cedric, Dulcie, Keith, Rita and Shirley. Keith lived at Sunnybray at the foothills of the Flinders Ranges, 21 miles from Port Augusta, in between Winnanowie and Nectarbrook. Keith only went to grade 6 at Davenport School. Each day they drove their horse and buggy with a round trip of 13 miles daily. On one trip the horse fell on the way to school and dislocated its shoulder, which meant Ellen had to homeschool the three youngest children. Henry grew all their own vegetables, and they also had a large garden consisting of fruit trees and grapevines. Ellen would make jam, preservatives, dried fruit, butter and bread. A lucerne patch was grown to feed the animals and the fowls. Keith's job was to cut the lucerne up to feed the fowls, collect the eggs and check the water for the fowls. He also had to watch and water the veggies when his dad and brother Cedric were working, and did this until his sisters and Keith returned to school. At age 14, Keith went to work on a sheep station called Clearview with his father and continued to work there until he was 16. 30 shillings a week was his pay. After work, Keith and his father would go rabbit and fox hunting with their 4 dogs, with only a bottle of water and a sandwich, walking about 10 to 12 miles. They haven't converted to kilometres yet. They would also muster sheep on Keith's horse, Demon, and apparently he was a demon to ride. His father's horse was named Rintin. Keith's brother Cedric wasn't interested in riding or hunting, but he liked tinkering with electric devices, making their first 1-valve crystal radio and a 3-valve radio, which the family would all sit around listening to Dad and Dave, Martin's Corner and the Sullivans. When Keith was 16 and brother Cedric was 20, the boys bought bikes and rode from Sunnybray to Port Augusta, some 21 miles, so they could go to the pitches and then back home. Sometimes they would go with their cousin Clary to the pitches and then stay at Clary's and go home after lunch on Sunday. At age 17, Keith went to work at Holden's at Woodville, making army equipment until he turned 18. He then joined the army in 1944 until July 1946. Keith did not travel out of Australia because he was not 19, and gladly the war had ended. Keith and Kevin Bridgman worked at Wayville until 1946. waiting on the army officers and cleaning their offices. On the weekends, Keith and Kevin rode their bikes from Wayville to Balaclava, staying at Kevin's parents' home. They both rode in bike races within the Balaclava area, but would ride back to Wayville on Sunday afternoons. Keith started dating Kevin's sister Yvonne. In January 1947, Keith worked at the railways as a carriage cleaner, only doing this job for a couple of months. He then joined ETSA in April 1947 at Glenelg. In September of this year, he transferred to Gladstone, working in the Mid-North area. Keith helped build the first power line from the Commonwealth Power Station to the new Port Augusta Power Station. Yvonne and Keith married in Balaclava Church of Christ on the 9th of December 1950 by the Reverend David Hammer. They continued to live in Gladstone near the jail. Gavin Keith was born on the 2nd of October 1952. Keith then transferred to ETSA at Maitland in 1954, moving into a brand new ETSA home, and this was a promotion to senior linesman. Deborah Kay was born on 30th of November 1956. Keith worked for ETSA in Maitland for 37 years and spent a total of 44 years within the ETSA group. Since retirement, Yvonne and Keith continued to live in the same house that they had moved into when they arrived at Maitland, and Keith took up bowls playing for the Maitland team. Probus for 8 years, Mills and Wills for 3 years together with Yvonne, and was a blood donor for approximately 8 years until unfortunately he became too old for any more donations. He also enjoyed doing his tapestry work, which he has given to his family as a reminder of his treasured pastime. Keith also loved his gardening, and I can vouch that in his time you could eat off anywhere in the garden, as there was never a thing out of place. Picklewords also consumed his quiet time when he was allowed to have it. Keith enjoyed his grandson Nathan coming for school holidays, and the two of them would enjoy making items out of wood and obviously helping in the garden. Yvonne and Keith enjoyed coming to Adelaide to spend time with Deborah and Richard and the grandchildren Megan, Nathan and Joshua. And Keith continued to visit when the great-grandchildren Sienna, Riley and Caleb arrived. They also enjoyed trips to Kadina to visit Denise, Adelheid and Justina, and in later years visit the great-grandchildren Courtney, Amelia, Brittany, Letitia, Olivia. Oh, I've done it wrong, Amelia.
Sorry, love.
The spelling was wrong. Olivia, Cody, Braith, Andre, Addison, and their great-great-grandchild in Hazel. When Keith came to Adelaide for the grandchildren's birthday, Pa was always in charge of decorating the cupcakes. Yvonne had made with faces and lollies, a job he enjoyed doing. After Yvonne's passing in 2012, Keith continued living in Maitland for approximately 2 years until he decided to move to Berry and live with Gavin. After 4 years and Gavin's impending retirement, they both moved back to Maitland and continued living in the original ETSA home. During the last few years, Keith continued to have good health, although he did end up with a pacemaker and had many operations for the skin cancer caused in his years at ETSA. He was a true gentleman who would help anyone, especially if they needed a hand with gardening or advice on gardening, and of course a chin wag at the same time. The last few months saw Dad move into the Maitland elder care, and he enjoyed his time there playing his carpet bowls and enjoying the company of the residents at the village. Dad, you are now reunited with Mum, so you can sit back and enjoy your ice creams and cherry ripes, knowing that you both have done your best in this world, and now you can both rest in peace together. Love from Gavin and Deborah.
I hope I can get through this. Dad, I have a heart full of unforgettable stories you shared with me. You would tell me about the different birds and plants and things that are happening around us. You told me the life you shared as a child growing up in Winnenale. You would play with us on the floor and tickle us until our tummies hurt. You surprised us one Sunday morning when Mum, Gavin and I went to church and made scones. We could only use them for cricket balls, but never mind, Dad, we did have a laugh. Dad, you did a great Sunday breakfast of egg, bacon and fried bread. The fried bread was good, but healthy. No, it wasn't. Dad, you worked hard to make sure we had a beautiful home and lovely things inside, and the garden was always neat and tidy. I enjoyed some weekends when we would go mushrooming in the paddocks you had been working in with Etsa. And also along the back tracks of Etsa's line, Mum and I would drag the stumps out and put them on the track, and you would come along and cut them up and take them home for the fire. Dad, there was always love from you and Mum. You loved your grandchildren, great-grandchildren and great-great-grandchildren, and they all loved you both. My hands we cannot touch anymore. We shall never lose the memory of you, Dad. We love you so much. You are now reunited with Mum in God's garden. It's going to be hard without you both. I love you, your loving daughter, Deborah.
And this is from Gavin. Grief, I've learned, is really just love. It's all the love you want to give but cannot. All of that unspent love gathers in the corner of your eyes, the lump in your throat and the hollow part of your chest. Grief is just love and with no place to go. In times of darkness, love sees. In times of silence, love hears. In times of doubt, love hopes. In times of sorrow, love heals. And in all times, love remembers, and don't forget, somewhere between hello and goodbye, there was love, so much love. A life well lived until we meet on high once more. Forever in my heart, love is eternal, your son Gavin. And this is from his granddaughter Megan. I can no longer see you with my eyes or touch you with my hands, but I will feel you in my heart forever. Rest easy now that you have been reunited with Nana. Thanks for the wonderful memories we have shared together and the times you have spent with your great-grandsons Riley and Caleb. You will always be in our hearts now and forever. Love you so much, Pa. Rest in peace. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard and everyone. Just now I'd like to read a tribute and memoir of thanks written by Keith's adored granddaughter Justina Cox. And these are Justina's words. Pa, no words can describe the heartache that I'm feeling right now. Such a beautiful soul who touched the hearts of many, an amazing Pa and great Pa, and we all just adored you so much. Thank you for all the stories, coffees, lunch dates and dinners. Thank you for always playing whatever the kids wanted you to, even if it meant being covered in toys, playing on toy laptops and eating pretend food. You did it just to see the joy on their faces. Thank you for the bond and friendship that you had with Anthony. Thank you for loving and supporting me in all that I have done and continue to do. Thank you for showing me how to be strong, believing in me and teaching me to fight to the very end. I'm so grateful to have had a Pa as good as you. Thank you for fighting right to the very end. You were always so determined that you wanted a letter from the Queen, but heaven needed you now, and that's okay. Forever 95, Pa. I will miss our coffees and lunch dates, but now you can have as much smashed avocado as you like. My heart is broken right now, but I know in time it will heal and the pain will become less, but I may just be sad for a little while. But I will remember all the good times that we shared. My favourite being just 3 years ago at my 40th, you enjoyed those vodka jelly shots as much as anyone else. I love that there was no way you were missing out on them. Dad will be lost without you, but I can assure that we will look after him. Nana has been waiting for a while for you, and now you can finally be reunited. Rest easily, Pa. We love you so much, so much. Until we meet again, Justina, Anthony, Braith and Addison. And there's a couple of crosses and hugs, I think, thrown in there. A Father's Day card from Deborah, Richard, Megan, Nathan and Joshua was given to Keith, and these words are found on it. Though its cushions, it's called Dad's favourite chair, by the way. Though its cushions are lumpy and frayed here and there, no king's throne is finer than Dad's favourite chair, where Dad has relaxed with his family for years and joined in their laughter and hugged away tears, the chair where he listens with love in his eyes to jokes and excuses and, yes, a few lies. Where sometimes he sits while the rest are in bed with worries and hopes spinning round in his head, and at times stays awake till the wee hours at night to be certain some travellers arrive home all right. The change from his pockets found under the seat can purchase an ice cream or other fun treat. If someone needs help with a problem they've got, right next to Dad's chair is a very good spot. It's a chair built for comfort, not for style or grand. Its arms hold the warmth and the shapes of his hands. The springs sag a little, the seams need repair, but the love lasts forever in Dad's favourite chair. Right now, I'd like to give an opportunity to anyone in the room that would like to come and share a memory of Keith, if you'd like to. Now's the time to do so. Ladies and gentlemen, after hearing of Keith's beginnings and his well-lived and full life, it is only fitting that we are now given the special honour of watching a slideshow of pictures and songs collected by and cherished by the Barrett family.
My true blue, don't say you've gone. Say you've knocked off for a smoker, and you'll be back later on. Hey, true blue. Hey, true blue. Give it to me straight, face to face. Are you really disappearing? Just another dying race. Hey, true blue. True blue. Is it me and you? Is it Mom and Dad? Is it a cockatoo? Is it standing by your mate when he's in a fight? Or will she be right? True blue, I'm asking you. Hey, true blue, can you bear the load? Will you tie it up with wire just to keep the show on the road? Hey, true blue. Hey, true blue. I'll be betting. Is your heart still there? If they sell us out like sponge cake, do you really care? Hey, true blue. True blue. Is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Is it standing by your mate when she's in a fight? Or will she be right? True blue, I'm asking you. Is it me and you? Is it mom and dad? Is it a cockatoo? Is it standing by your mate when he's in a fight? Or will she be right? True blue. And now the end is near, and so I face the final curtain. My friends, I'll say it clear, I'll state my case, of which I am certain. I've lived a life that's full, traveled each and every highway, but more, much more than this, I did it my way. Regrets, I've had a few, but then again, too few to mention. I did what I had to do and saw it through without exemption. I planned each charted course, each careful step along the byway, but more, much more than this, I did it my way. Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when I bit off more than I could chew. But through it all, when there was doubt, I ate it up and spit it out. I faced it all, and I stood tall and did it my way. I've loved, laughed and cried, had my fill, my share of losing, and now, as the tears subside, I find it all so amusing to think I did all that, and may I say, not in a shy way. Oh no, no, not me. I did it my way. For what is a man? What has he got? If not himself, then he has not to say all the things he truly feels, and not the words of one who feels. The record shows I my tears are falling rain, for the carnival is over. We may never meet again. Like a crown, my heart was beating, and your kiss was sweet as wine. But the joys of love are fleeting, for we're old and growing by. Now the heart of life is falling. This will be our last goodbye. So the carnival is over. I will love you till I die. Like a drum, my heart was beating, and your kiss was sweet as wine. But the joys of love are fleeting, for we're old and gone by. Now the heart of life is falling. This will be our last goodbye. So the carnival is over. I will love you till I die. So the carnival is over. I will love you till I How do I get through one night without you? If I had to live without you, what kind of life would that be? Oh, I need you in my arms, need you to hold. You're my world, my heart, my soul. To be you ever leave. Baby, you would take away everything good in my life, and tell me now.
You all have certainly some wonderful memories. Keith, I've been told, had hands like a bear and strength to match it, yet a kind and humble giant to those who knew him. The Electricity Trust has a saying that goes, "They used to make wooden poles for iron men, but now they make iron poles for wooden men." With this in mind, picture this same man threading his tapestry, a delicate art and a love that saw him complete over 20 pieces of work, now treasured by his family, and an example can be seen here today, or a couple of examples. This was a passion that came later in Keith's life, but early in his earlier life he enjoyed many different hobbies, but one that must be mentioned is a story of when Keith used to road race bicycles with his brother-in-law Kevin Bridgman. The two of them were members of the Balaclava Cycling Club and were attending an event which had seen a few riders come from Adelaide to give the country lads a run for their money. Let's just say that Keith and Kevin were not going to go down easily. On the final straight, Kevin was out in front when Keith, who was back behind Kevin a little, had two city riders come up either side of him trying to box him in. Now let us just remember the facts here. 6'3", built like a brick outhouse, hands like a bear on a bicycle, hurtling around at 30 kilometres an hour. Possibly even faster. This didn't faze Keith, who promptly used himself like a wrecking ball, taking out both city riders, suffering a broken collarbone in the process. Needless to say, Kevin went on to win the race, sending the city boys back home sore with a loss. Keith also had a love for lawn bowls, playing as a member of the Maitland Bowls Club for many years, and even enjoyed watching his loved sport on television. He enjoyed the simple things in life, like his mornings sitting on his back deck having brekkie with his pick of words, a book up here. Keeping the mind busy, he would say, keeping the mind busy. Keith had a love for aeroplanes from an early age, watching their rise to glory in passenger air travel from the early days of war defence and commercial flight. Gavin would often sit on Tapley's Hill Road with his dad whilst in Adelaide on trips and just enjoy watching the planes coming and going, which I am sure are memories treasured. Often it is simply someone's company and passion that makes tradition. Gavin and Keith would often make their regular visits to Ardrossan for fish and chips and an ice cream, or to Nana's Jane's in Maitland for lunch. These are the memories and the times that you will miss the most, but his memory is his legacy. This poem says, "I give you this one thought to keep. I am with you still, I do not sleep. I am 1,000 winds that blow. I am the diamond glints in snow. I am the sunlight on ripened grain. I am the gentle autumn rain. When you awaken in the morning's hush, I am the swift uplifting rush of quiet birds in circled flight. I am the soft stars that shine at night. Do not think of me as gone. I am with you still with each new dawn." We who sit here today are the ones that must make sure that Keith's spirit is kept alive by replaying his songs and forever speaking his name, and I am sure we will all do just this with honour and pride. And now we come to Keith's committal. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are able, could you please stand for his committal? To everything there is a season, and a time for every purpose on earth, a time to be born and a time to pass. Here in this last act in sorrow, but not in fear, in love and appreciation, we say our final goodbye. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Royston Keith Barrett, the peace of the flowing air to you, the peace of the quiet earth to you, the peace of the shining stars to you, and the love and care of us all to you. Rest now at the end of your days. Rest in the hearts and minds of all those you loved. We release you into the warmth of our memories. We commit you into the eternal circle of life. We free you into the embrace of nature. And now join with me if you wish the Lord's Prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. You may be seated, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude the formal part of today's service, I will invite the family to come forward and place a tribute of farewell with Keith. And after this, you will all be given the opportunity to place a tribute and say your final farewells. As the family comes forward, I'd also invite them to blow out the candles that they'd lit previously. After today's service, you're all kindly invited by the Barrett family to the Moss and Paul Lounge at the other end of this building for an after-service reception, and giving you a chance to reminisce your memories and the times that you spent with him, with the family and each other throughout his celebrated life. In the other room, there will be a couple of things. There is a donation today to the Royal Flying Doctor, should you wish to do so. It will be available for you to do so. It's just a decorated bag with an envelope on the front. If you wish to drop some cash in there, we will ensure that it gets to the RFDS. There is also a memorial book, which if you wish to sign that, I'm sure the family would appreciate you doing that before you do leave today. It's a lovely memory for them of your presence here today. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Gavin, Deborah and Richard, the grandkids and the extended Barrett family, I wish to thank you for being here today. I thank you for your attendance. And could you all please stand as I invite the family to come forward and place their tributes.
Yeah, There you go, you can have that one, alright? You've got your 2 bits to go.
Cheryl?